The council chambers were filled with anxious murmurs as the delegates from dozens of interstellar civilizations gathered. This emergency session had been called to address the ominous energy readings emanating from the Galen Nebula, which seemed to be destabilizing by the hour. The Trillian ambassador clicked his mandibles nervously. Have we come any closer to determining the cause of these energy spikes? What if the nebula continues to deteriorate? The wise, ancient Vizi sighed, his translucent skin shimmering under the lights. We have exhausted all our options. Our greatest scientific minds are mystified. None can explain what is happening or how to stabilize the nebula. The reaction was immediate dismay. The Galen Nebula was a crucial cosmic nursery, birthing new stars and planets. If it collapsed, the consequences would be catastrophic. As the panic rose, a new race, humanity, sat silently. Having only recently achieved spaceflight, they were observing and awaiting their chance to contribute. Counselor Zyle, an arrogant Xandarian, chuckled dismissively. I suppose we cannot expect humans to offer any insights. They are too young, too primitive to grasp the complexities of the situation. The human ambassador, Captain William Pike, narrowed his eyes but held his tongue. The other races were millions of years old. Human civilization only spanned thousands. Zyle's condescension was galling, but Will knew they had yet to prove themselves. When a recess was finally called, Will approached the Trillian ambassador who seemed most open-minded. Counselor Vex, if I may have a moment. Vix tilted his elongated head curiously as Will shared an idea. It was a long shot, likely dismissed as folly, but he had to try. There was too much at stake. When the council reconvened, all eyes turned to Vix as he cleared his throat. Esteemed colleagues, young Captain Pike has a bold proposal to stabilize the nebula. I yielded the floor to him out of respect, but make of it what you will. Drawing bemused and skeptical looks, Will stepped forward. We believe the energy spikes correlate with emissions from a newly discovered pulsar within the nebula. My crew and I volunteer to pilot our ship on a mission to enter the nebula, track down the pulsar, and stabilize its output. The chamber erupted into astonished cries. Counselor Zyle slammed a fist down. Preposterous. You would risk the lives of your crew on such a suicidal venture? We have no proof that this pulsar is even the cause. Will stood firm. Proof or not, it's the only remaining possibility. All other avenues have been exhausted. As Counselor Vix stated, we have shielding technology capable of withstanding the nebula's intense radiation. My crew and I are willing to take the risk. Billions of lives across the galaxy may depend on it. This is not suicide but sacrifice. Admiral Sulk, the grizzled Vulxan fleet commander, stepped forward, his single eye studying Will intently. You have courage, Captain Pike, I grant you that. But what qualifies you to succeed where our experts have failed? How can you guarantee you will even locate the pulsar, let alone stabilize it? We can't guarantee anything, Will admitted. But my people have experience rapidly responding to the unknown. It's in our blood to brave the darkness that terrifies others. My crew and I may be new here, but we are mankind's best hope. The assembly argued fiercely, but with no alternatives left, they reluctantly approved the humans' proposal. After all, they had nothing to lose. As the starship Avalon prepared to launch, Will's friend Commander Michael Burnham clapped him on the back. They'll write songs about this someday, if we make it back to hear them. Will smiled wryly. The nebula's no match for us. We'll solve this crisis and prove humanity's worth. Passing through the shimmering nebulaic cloud, the Avalon and her intrepid crew were jolted by violent shockwaves. They pressed on, sensors primed to detect the pulsar's distinct energy signature. Suddenly, an ear-splitting proximity alarm blared. There, Burnham shouted. On screen, the ominous form of the pulsar appeared. A rapidly spinning ball of radiation spewing intense particle emissions. As the ship was buffeted by powerful gravitational eddies, Will gripped his chair armrest. Match its spin axis. We need to get in sync to stabilize it. The helmsman struggled at his console. It's shifting too fast. The gyros can't compensate. Will leaped into action, manually assisting the pilot. Together, they fought to align the ship's rotation, countering the unpredictable spins. Finally, groaning from the strain, the Avalon matched speeds with the chaotic pulsar. Alarms quieted as readings settled. It worked, Burnham cried. You did it. But Will knew their task was only half complete. Activating the gravity beam, he aimed it directly into the heart of the pulsar. Steady, he told his crew as the beam slowly equalized the runaway atomic reactions within the pulsar's core. Tense minutes passed. He had to carefully balance the emissions without neutralizing the vital stellar furnace. "That's optimal," Chief Engineer Kamo finally declared, studying the output charts. Will throttled back the gravity beam. As he watched the stabilized emissions readings, the entire bridge crew spontaneously erupted into cheers. Will couldn't suppress his own triumphant shout. Returning home heroes, Will and his crew were summoned before the grateful High Council, thunderously applauding the humans' miraculous success. Counselor Zyle stepped forward, chastened. "Captain Pike, on behalf of the interstellar community, I apologize for misjudging your people. We are in your debt." Admiral Sulk placed a medal around Will's neck. "Today we welcome Earth and humanity to the High Council. You have more than proven your capability." As the acclaim continued, Vix leaned toward Will and winked his gelatinous eye, clicking his mandibles happily. Despite the long odds, the young, intrepid humans had achieved the impossible and won the galaxy's respect. Their future amongst the stars was now unlimited.